Hello there. What's going on, everybody? Today we're going to talk about the upgrade card pack for Star Wars Legion. I know there's been a lot of sensation going on with the Clone Wars core set, and of course that's a huge deal. We also have to talk about the upgrade card pack because the upgrade card pack is actually really cool, and in some ways represents a whole lot more than the Clone Wars alone happens to represent. So the upgrade card pack is a card pack of about 60 neutral upgrades that you can get from Star Wars Legions. Stuff found from all the way from the beginning of the game's release all the way up through the Clone Wars core set, and it's just a lot of stuff that you can use for any faction that you want to play. Reason for this is actually pretty cool because with the new factions coming out is maybe or you're gonna have Obi-Wan Kenobi in the Clone Wars core set, right? Well, maybe he wants a Force upgrade that you can only get in the core set, the original core set. Maybe that's not gonna have everything. Maybe you're going to want General Grievous to be able to use something that came out with snowtroopers or something like that. So, considering that they've had a year of releases for the Galactic Civil War already, and also considering the fact that there may be new stuff that comes out in the Clone Wars that maybe exclusively Rebel players might want, it could just card packs like this are a way for them to prevent you from having to buy, expansions from factions that you don't want to play. So this is really big. And there's a whole lot of really just cool little things here. First off, it's got pictures of all the different factions on it, right? So you can see, the Empire, the Rebels, the Separatists, and the Republic on there. And it's like it's saying, like, these four factions are represented here. With this, what it doesn't say, like, there's room at the bottom. So, like, they could always do other upgrade card packs that have room for more factions, right? So, granted, I'm not trying. We just got Clone Wars announced. I'm not trying to jump into sequel factions anytime soon. I think we're years away from that. But someday, potentially, that would be cool, right? And so it's nice that they're laying the groundwork for future expansion as well as future stability. Because now you won't necessarily ever really be forced to buy something across the aisle, unless, of course, you want to play that. And there's another thing that's really cool here. So you're getting a lot of upgrades. You're getting 60 upgrade cards. So we're getting everything from extra grenades, frag grenades, maybe extra copies of stuff you already have. You're getting aggressive tactics, commanding presence, esteemed leader, improvised orders, strict orders, command upgrade cards. Maybe you didn't want to buy Krennic, but you didn't like him and you just wanted to run Veers and you just want to run certain like Veers and snowtroopers and 3 royal guards, and that's the list you want to run, and you don't want to have to buy units you don't want just for the upgrades. This is another way for you to get those upgrades. And now you might be thinking, well, that's strange. Why does Fantasy Flight not want us to have, not want us to buy their product? Well, it's not that they don't want you to buy their product. They want you. My takeaway from this, I'm not speaking for Fantasy, I'm not representing Fantasy Flight here, but my takeaway from this is that they want you to buy the units that you want to have. Now, obviously, for faction-specific upgrades, you're going to have to get, that faction-specific stuff. So you're not going to, get an extra DLT-19 for a Stormtrooper unit, because that's something specific to the Stormtrooper unit, so you're only going to find that in a Stormtrooper expansion or the original core set. So things like that you're not going to get here. But for things that are neutral that anybody can use, it's a great way to get these cards. You're getting a lot of copies of different cards, too. So, I wish they would do this for all their games. And this actually was asked at Adepticon. Are you guys considering doing this for even more games? And they said, it's certainly a possibility. And they kind of hinted that the door was open to be able to do this for more games. So X-Wing could really use upgrade card packs, because with 2.0 they brought in the same kind of model that Legion's got, is that whole, oh yes, you can totally just stick to one faction. But there has been things that slipped through the cracks, and there's plenty of instances of things that would be really nice to have an upgrade card pack for. For example, maybe you're just playing Clone Wars and you got the core set and you want to outfit all your Jedi with the supernatural reflexes, and well, that only comes in the core set. It didn't come in any of the Clone Wars stuff, and that's a Force ability, and so that'd be another way. Do I either go buy a second core set, or do I have to go buy the TIE Advanced that has supernatural reflex? So it's one of these Force abilities that you might want to put on your Force users. It's only available one place, and so you only have one copy in your collection. And so, do I really want to buy a whole another core set just for one card? I don't like that. And of course, you do have the secondary market for things like that, and that's helpful, but that's not what we got here. We got here an amazing value considering what it's giving you, and it's cheap too. It's only $9.99, $10 for a card pack. That's amazing. And really, what does it cost FFG? All of these cards have already been created. All of these cards have already been play tested and released with everything else. So, well, the majority of them. There are actually some Clone Wars cards in here too. And that's another thing. If you're not interested in the Clone Wars, but there's going to be some new upgrades that come out, and you just want to play the Empire, well, here you go. Here's access to all the new stuff that's going to be coming out with the Clone Wars expansions. Boom, here you go. This is like so cool. So I think it's great. I think it's a really cool. And if you want a list of exactly what cards on there, you go to fantasyflightgames.com. You'll see an article for the upgrade card pack, and there's a detailed list there. I'm not going to bore you with all the details of exactly how many copies of every card that are there, but there's a lot of cards there and a lot of things that I think you'll find useful. For me personally, I'm buying everything anyway, so I probably won't need this, but I'll still pick up a copy and do an unboxing and check it out and show you guys. So if you're just really curious of how they packaged it or how it looks or what exactly is in there, I'll be sure to bring that to you. But honestly, an upgrade card pack, it's a cool idea. So would like to see it in an X-Wing. There's also been other things that just slipped through the cracks with X-Wing, like Darth Maul and Darkside Force users, and maybe you're only playing Rebels, but you want to be able to bring Darth Maul over, or Maul as a crew over, specifically because you want to be able to have Ezra Bridger on there and do that whole special thing. Well, that's one case that maybe you wouldn't have it. And just there's a lot of little things like that where it would just be nice to just say, hey, I want to buy that one pack, and then boom, get completely caught up. So I think there's definitely a case to do that for X-Wing. Now, Armada has a huge reason to have something like this because there's an overwhelming number of cards that are only available in one expansion and not available to another faction, so you have to buy across the aisle. And not only that, but if you want to have one more spinal armament, you have to buy a Liberty. And the Liberty's expensive. I'm not spending $40 for one card, right? I'll sooner just proxy it. And I think that's another thing that maybe people, for a private game, I'd rather proxy it. I'm not going to try and proxy it in a tournament or anything like that. But yeah, I think a lot of people are probably doing that, and they're like, well, we're not really gonna. I think it's unethical to really have a business practice where you're charging $50 for one piece of cardboard that you're just printing. You're just printing money at that point, and I think they're trying to get away from that. That is still a problem in Armada, and I think they're trying to get away from it. And I think we're seeing signs that Armada's trying to get away from that model with things like the Super Star Destroyer having extra copies of other kind of rare upgrade cards. We saw that in Wave 6. Where certain cards that were new and were going to be very high in demand, you actually got two of, like two of in one ship. So that was really cool. Disposable capacitors, for example, you got two of those in one ship, and you're like, well, it can only use one. They're just giving you extra stuff to outfit your fleet, so you're not, it feels like they're being less greedy here because you're already paying for a whole ship and all this other stuff, and now you get more upgrades, so you don't have to buy more than what you need, and that's a big deal. I had that happen to me early on in X-Wing 1.0 where I needed more missiles of a certain type, so I bought a whole bunch of, that's why I have 7 TIE Advanced, and that reason for that's kind of funny because I actually lost a bunch of upgrades one time. And this is also another way for some people to rebuild their collections. If tragedy strikes and you do lose upgrade cards, maybe you're not forced into but that's more of a corner case. More realistically, it's just not, so you don't have to buy expansions that you don't want just to get one card. And that's a really big deal. I think it says a lot for ethics. I think it says a lot for the value of the customer and to get more people that don't have as much disposable income to become invested in these games with confidence too. This is building consumer confidence. I think this is going to make all of our games grow, starting with Star Wars Legion. But if they bring the same practice to other games, it's going to be good for the health of the games across the board. Because now somebody's like, wait, I really like that upgrade. I want to use that you're using. Oh, I have to buy a $50 expansion to get it? Oh, man, why did I get myself into this game? And he goes and tells his friends that this game is just a money pit, etc., etc. There's certain games that you hear things about that with, So I think this is just going to do a lot for the longevity of the game, for word of mouth, for the health of the game, and just really forcing you to, hey, do I want to buy these snowtroopers? Well, do I really want that extra unit? Yes, and that's what it should be. You should be buying expansions because you want the unit. Like one time with Star Wars Armada, I bought 4 MC30s just to get 4 copies of Turbo Laser Reroute Circuits because I wanted to use the Turbo Laser Reroute Circuits on a CR90. So I bought them just for the upgrades, and I wanted to use the upgrades on a different ship. So I bought ships that I didn't even want that ship. And I have used 4 MC30s before, but just very rarely. It's not a common thing because they're expensive shipped, especially once you outfit them. My point is, you should be buying ships, troopers, units, expansions, vehicles. You should be buying these things because you want the unit in your game. You should be buying game pieces because you want the game piece, not for the other little piece of card that comes in it. And I think that's what this really accomplishes. And I'm thrilled that they're doing this. I think it's a fantastic thing. All right, guys, that's all I've got for you today. I just wanted to talk about the upgrade card pack, and there is still time to enter the next giveaway. It just kicked off, as a matter of fact. $25 Amazon gift card for an expansion of your choice. You could get 2.5 upgrade card packs for that. That's pretty fantastic. Or just use it, put it towards something big like that new core set. So if you're interested in entering to win that, all you have to do is be a subscriber and leave a comment on this or one of my videos. I typically announce giveaway winners at the end of my videos, so make sure you always watch to the end. And this will run for about 2 weeks or so. And that's all I've got for you guys. I want to thank you all so much for watching, and as always, have a great day.